Welcome again, everyone, to a solemn episode. Let It Fly on Fridays, episode 42. We're doing it early because as we see that the celebrations are far and in between, but today is the 24th anniversary of 9/11. A day at infamy, second version. Oh crap, wait a minute. I feel it's being overshadowed in the media. I see no posts by some of you political parties, children that have no respect for the world or legacy or history. 9/11 was a horrible day for those of us who lived through it. Shut the schools down. Excuse me? My child was still in elementary school. And now he's a grown-up. But 9/11, 2001, 9/11, or 9/12 of 2001, the day that united the world like nothing else. The American people. Well, let me just stop. So I'm going to do this at the beginning because I don't want to trick anyone. I do have a couple of current events that have chapped my ass that I'm going to talk about first. That way, if you don't want to hear about the new Axial release or anything else I may yabble about, you can turn it off. I may lose viewers. I don't care because this week has been horrific. And I don't recognize the world we live in now compared to the world I was at on September 12th, 2001. Because there was no left and right, blue and red. It was just Americans. Common foe united the whole country. Everybody. Which, funny what we spout nowadays. It was black and white and brown and yellow and red. It doesn't friggin' matter your geographical, historical makeup. We are all Americans. And a lot of countries were right there with us. Horrific. But this country was unified like nothing else. Now it is so divided that we even have RC companies attacking other RC companies, which we'll get to because that made my list. What is going on? This is an RC channel, primarily. But because of the attack on another RC company by another big conglomerate, it's like, what are you going to do? That is what is going on. I mean, and some people's kids, I'm done with Facebook again. Because some people's kids, first of all, those parents, let's use Big Blue, Joe Biden, take everyone behind the woodshed. Some people's parents do need that because the kids now, those kids need to stop thinking that running your mouth is going to keep somebody from doing something. as was just shown, well, one of the items is from last month, but another item just happened yesterday. Guess what? You run your mouth to the wrong person and they are going to unalive you. Or they are going to put you in the hospital. And then you can get all your woe is me. But everybody is going to run into that person that has had enough. Now, that's the WTF world we're in right now. That the media, the radio stations, the social medias, yes, something horrible happened yesterday. But something horrible happened to us 24 years ago that needs to be embraced for what it did. It was adversity that breeded togetherness. A united country against an adversary. Well, who now basically overruns the country, but neither there, here nor there. So, prior to the current president, the past president had 4 years of all we heard about was we need to be getting involved in everyone's business. Well, when it involved money, which, well, it's probably going to go right back to the RC deal. When they no longer had control of the money and it doesn't fit their narrative, they don't care. So here's the world currently. A 20-something Ukrainian refugee / immigrant legally immigrated into the country was stabbed to death on a subway with everybody sitting around watching. Nobody gave a shit. The people who sang their praises for the past 4 years didn't give a shit. Don't fit the narrative anymore. Yesterday, a conservative Christian who has never disrespected anybody, who has a wife and a child, who started a youth organization, spent his time going around trying to educate people with religious and political arguments, was never disrespectful, never hurt anybody. Charlie Kirk, he was assassinated. And I'm shaking a little bit because this is where some of you parents with your, I don't know where your brains are. Kids singing the praises of somebody being assassinated. Adults, media people. Guess what, media people? A lot of you are getting canned for running your hole. That is friggin' disgusting. And I just can't wrap my mind around how far we've gone in humanity that you can sit for somebody you don't know, who's never harmed you in any way. You could sing the praises that somebody killed them. It blows my mind. And that is what we've talked about previously on the channel about the love in our safe space. So, with those little venting that I had, you know, I'm just done with that. But here's a story you may not have heard. Horizon Hobbies, the conglomerate of owning everything, decided to put Team Associated stuff on sale. Horizon Hobbies doesn't own Team Associated, but meanwhile, put their stuff on their website on sale. Team Associated put out a post, contacted them to complain about it, If you are a follower of Horizon Hobbies, what was their answer? Oh, my bad, Associated. That we should have asked you first. Nope. Turned around, and some of the products were upwards of $180 on sale. So they added to it. Like, who cares? What are you going to do? You're one company. We're a conglomerate. This is our RC community. What in the hell? The Joyful Company, they are getting that bloodthirsty now for a company they don't own, that they're going to stick it to them. I'm sorry, Associated. Why don't you just stop using them now? Sounds like I haven't, after I was enlightened on it, I've tried to find new information to see if there was some new back and forth. I can't really find it. So maybe if you guys are concerned enough about it, you could find it and, let me know in the comments. I really want to know if Horizon Hobbies is going to make it right, or are they just going to screw the little guys? So if they do that to one of their, basically the people that are bringing them a lot of money to carry their products, what are they going to do to us little guys? It's got me a little concerned. Well, no, it doesn't have me concerned at all, because I don't buy any of their shit. And this will definitely ensure that I don't buy anything from any of the manufacturers at Horizon Hobbies, because unfortunately I do have, the 3. I've got a couple 3s, don't I? That 3. No, I only have the 1. Ugh. Yep. I have a lot of 2s. I guess I do have 2, because I think the UMG was the first offering once they took over. So I don't know if that was a pure original owner design or what, but that just seems screwy to me. And here we go again. So just got the press release today from Axial. They now have the new, what they're calling their performance crawler coming out. The Axial SCX 10.3 Coyote. Pretty sure Charisma already used that name, but whatever. Dog's a dog. I watched the video with the 2 presenters, and there's little things done. I think, unfortunately, they should have done more to compete with what I feel they're competing with. I feel it's Vanquish, it's Red Cat, the Ascent Fusion from Red Cat. Vanquish has got the optic, the stance, the carbon, but the price. If you are thinking, the Red Cat Fusion, $479. Vanquish Optic, $429. The Vanquish Stance is $499. The Carbon Kit is $429. And the Axial's only $349, but you also have the option to get the $399, which comes with a battery and charger. And the Coyote comes with one of them little stubby batteries. So if you don't have any, is the extra $51 or $50 worth a stubby battery and a charger? Since it's Axial, it'll be a Spectrum, and it'll be the Spectrum with only their plug on it, and it'll be a Spectrum battery charger you plug in the wall, and it takes 2 days to charge. So, is that worth it? Or is the $349? I mean, basically, $100 and more than $100 for some of the kits. I didn't write down what the tires were. Damn it. It's got a Proline body on it. It's got the clipless body system. It's got some weird looking shocks on it. And then they basically just they made the transmission housing a little smaller. Got some smoother plastics on it. You know, that Pro kit they made must not be selling very well. But to me, they marketed it as a Pro truck. But if you read the literature on it, it's about, you know, getting the new people into the hobby. Well, new people aren't usually getting Pro trucks. So what I'm seeing from this truck is it's just kind of a scaled down base camp with some different bits on it. But that might be someone's bag. So it just came out today, so I'm assuming it's going to take a while to get in the hobby shops. Oh, you know what, everybody? The Sendulis. I was so giddy about my Sicario video earlier this week. You guys that have done projects with these trucks, there's that community post section now down in the bottom where you can shoot me the pictures of the trucks you're working on. We'll talk about Carl, but Carl shot me an idea of a Columbia Shiva bus. If you haven't ever seen those, I seen them in Panama when I was down there. They are just the craziest buses, decked out, you know, not decked out professionally. Everybody making it their own, literally. When you think of make it your own, if you ever look at one of these Shiva buses, I don't even know if I pronounced that right. We just called it a friggin' Panamanian bus. This is their bread and butter, driving people around in these buses. First of all, it's scarier than hell to ride with them, but I wish I had pictures of them somewhere, of the one that we drove on the very first time I went down. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. But he wants to make a Senduli with that bus, which, you know, didn't regale this yet in the comments section, but there are a couple school bus RC trucks. Tamaya makes one, and I forget who made the other one, but hell yeah, sir, roll. And then put it in that community post so I can check it out. But, you know, Carl Dungeon regaled me with a story. 1500 Chessie. He regaled me with he made a crazy one. That's because I went and spied. He's got a channel, and I didn't write it down. Because like I said, I've been a little distracted this week. But, crazy. Other than that, I mean, we seem to be the Vanquish VS410, the new Phoenix with the Portal kit is out now. 4 and some change for that one. Strangely, the big names have been pretty quiet, while these Chinese companies have been doing a lot more innovation, coming out with newer stuff, left and right. But nothing so far. I have definitely, the Sicario was not in the cards at all. But $107 off, I couldn't resist. And I'm going to do another video because the Smith built stuff, pretty nice. I'm going to go over to his Facebook and make sure he knows that I appreciate his stuff so far. Yeah, it's got pros and cons, but we'll cover that in the video because it looks pretty good. Nope, we're going to cover that in the video. So, let's get to the shouts. Tristan Mason, 1500 Chessie. Carl Hubenthal, Mr. J Bird, DRS 3406. The rest were you usual mugs who cruise around my comment section. You know what I'm talking about, you creeps. But I'm watching from my window, watching you watch my window. So we're both creeps. And I love it. So, unfortunately, I'm going to try for this weekend. God, the weather's horrible. Like even today. Just mist, cool. Sucks for even going out for 2 seconds with any kind of gear. You know, instantly it's covered with mist and water. So, got to keep wiping things off. So, hopefully by this weekend, we'll get out there and do some more driving videos. Hopefully, yeah, being so moist, I got some painting I wanted to do with Sicario, but, I don't like to paint when it's moist. And I just like saying that word because some people get creeped out by it. So, as usual, oh, the Relarlo link. If you guys, I guess I'm just a dumbass too. So, the extra 10% off is underneath the actual code that takes you to the site if you wanted to go look at some Relarlo stuff. It's actually my name. That's right below it. You just need to write that down. It does not automatically populate. So that's the extra 10% off if you get one of their qualifying vehicles. We're going to try here. I finally broke down with all of you guys with your fancy videos. I bought a laptop because I'm old. It had to be a big one. I'm going to see about trying to make I'm going to make a silly little something video and try to see if I can operate editing. And that way the channel stuff will all be devoted to that laptop, cameras, microphones. You can try all kinds of neat things now. And see if I can expand myself, because you know the winter's coming. Once winter's here, I'm trapped in here in this room. Not a lot of outside unless it's pretty nice. So again, thanks for viewing, thanks for liking, subscribing. Put your vehicles in the community post. But most importantly, let's be kind. And if you see somebody acting like a dumbass, remind them that kindness costs nothing. And with that, I will talk to you on the next one.